Yo guys, what's going on? Acez is here today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 15.2 patch notes. This patch is currently installing at the time the video is going to be uploaded for you guys. I believe it started installation at 3 a.m. and should go for about 5 hours. So it's going to take you to around 8 a.m. Eastern time. I typically tell you guys, throw on an extra 30 to 60 minutes in case there's an extension. By 9 a.m. Eastern time, you should be good to go to get this patch installed and hop into Tarkov. This patch is extremely good for PVE. We're going to talk all about it, but first I need you to drop a like on the video, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Unfortunately, you guys are going to get to check out all this content before me because I'm heading to bed in a few hours, but you'll have to come back to this video and head to the comment section and tell us how great some of this content is. Like I said, this is a great patch for PVE because it really alleviates some of the concerns we've been having over the last pretty much couple months now. You know, we didn't get ref and we haven't got a lot of this other content in PvP. And lately, some of the wording has been very vague regarding map-to-map travel, but we straight up have confirmation that map-to-map travel will indeed be in PvE in just a few hours. Transition between locations are now available in every single raid, as well as the PVE mode. This is great to know that we are not just going to get left behind and never get any of the new content. At least they're still giving us a chance. They're still trying. And like I said, it alleviates a lot of concern. Transition between locations are now available for player scavs. That's pretty cool. But, you know, for the PVE crowd, just use your PMC. Trust me. Added new transits. So these are going to be new transits available on top of all the original transits that were available in the marathon mode. So there's going to be a ton of options across the board, but the new ones are streets to ground zero, interchange to streets, customs to reserve and interchange, factory to customs and labs, woods to factory and lighthouse, reserve to customs and woods, lighthouse to reserve and woods, and shoreline to lighthouse. The transition activation time has been reduced to 1 minute after the start of the raid. It used to be 7 minutes, I believe. It was 7 or 8 minutes. And that was just so you got that, raid survival and extraction status. Some marathon event tasks as well as the marathon achievement have been adjusted but remain available for completion. Now, I'm still going to assume that's PvP only, and that's not going to be for PvE. It'll be interesting to check, though. Not gonna lie, I think the achievement was in the achievement screen on PvE, so if map to map is now available, I don't know if that will work or not. But that's actually good for players who are still working on that because they originally said Marathon would end with patch 15.2. Now it does say some, not all of, so maybe a little bit of the content did get pulled. We have a new event starting, the Mortar Strike event. The locals have found a stockpile of mortars and are now regularly shelling the open terrain from safe position. During the event, the following locations will be targeted by mortars, customs, woods, shoreline, and reserve. Just another reason to hate shoreline, my friends. Mortar attacks occur in PvP, PvE, and practice modes. Not really sure why we're bombing people on practice modes. That seems a little cruel, but it is what it is. It might be kind of funny, actually, for some first-timer casuals to hop into their first practice raid and get bombed from the sky. Scavs, bosses, and other bots react appropriately when mortar attacks start. I don't think you're ready for what we have coming up. Added a new task line for the in-game event. That's per usual. We're used to that. Players will be able to obtain unique rewards related to the event for completing the task. A special equipment item that warns about the start of mortar fire in advance to help avoid dangerous areas. I'm assuming that is just going to be something that's going to give you an audio cue. I don't know, though. Maybe they give you like a fucking handheld scanner and it's going to give you a grid and there's going to be a beep or a dot on a little handheld scanner. That'd be pretty unique, but I don't think they're going to go that far. I think it's going to be like a little radio or something, and it's just going to let us know. This next one is crazy, and I genuinely have no idea what this is going to be like, and I'm very intrigued. A special consumable item that initiates mortar fire at the player's location. All right? So it's going at your position, but is it going to be right on your head, or is it going to be in your vicinity? Imagine the goons are pushing you, and let's say you're in Crack House, for example, and the goons spotted you, they're pushing you. You call that mortar in, you're safe inside Crack House, goons are outside of the building, you just mortared the goons. That's just one example. Is that how it's going to work? Can you just send a laser and call in an airstrike on some Warzone shit and just mortar anything you want? I have no idea, but I'm interested. Cue all the SPT player comments. We've had airstrikes for years. And then you got players will receive a unique achievement as a reward for finishing the task line, only available during the event. Hopefully we keep this achievement, because I've noticed a lot of PVE achievements that, even ones I've already earned, they're just gone. I don't know what happened. It happened a couple patches ago at this point. I just never really talked about it. We got some AI changes. Improved Partisan's AI behavior model when traveling long distances and installing tripwires. Partisan definitely needed some work, for sure. And I would love to see Partisan continue to be worked on to just be a little bit creepier, be a little bit spookier. Right now, he's very predictable, and typically he's just with all the other scavs wherever you're at in your raid. He's never really, roaming around the map truly, at least in the experiences that I have run into him on certain maps. Improved AI movement routes after taking cover to make them smoother and more diverse. We got quality of life improvements. This one is actually huge for me. Rubles, dollars, euros, and GP coins no longer have a found in raid status. This is a lifesaver. I'm sick of getting money from a task, it being found in raid, and, throwing it into a money case, and then, nothing stacking into that stack from money I get from traders by selling off stuff. This is a huge quality of life improvement for all the Giga Chads on the flea market and all the people who are looting and scooting. Like, this is a really good one, and I'm definitely going to appreciate this one. It's just a big quality of life change. We also have some balancing changes here. I'm not going to read through all of these, but one thing I did want to point out is this one right here. Increase the amount of compensation for a successful report of a player who violated the EFT license agreement. That's just a fancy way of saying people who are cheating, and if you report them and they get banned, you get your compensation because you probably died by them. How else are you going to report them anyway? Of course, you could just go to the profile and do a mass report or some shit like that. But 99% of the time, you're reporting somebody because you died to them. And, compensations on PvP, I was seeing some crazy shit. 33,000 rubles, 70,000 rubles when you're losing 500 to a million ruble kit. Like, 500k on a low end hurts, but if you have a 1 million ruble kit on, you report the cheater, they get banned, and you get 33k in your inbox. That is just that's just a fuck you, in my opinion. So I'm glad to see this. I hope it's like 250,000, genuinely. The economy's already fucked, so might as well just hand out money for free. You have a couple more quality of life changes on the task side of the game. Some of these tasks, you can just hand in any variation of AK-74 for Punisher, for example. Just stuff to help you out a little bit. And then we got some sound changes. Improve the occlusion of lamp sounds. Improve the occlusion of door and container sounds in first and third person. The sound is going to need a ton of work, and hopefully they are, very slowly and steadily going to continue to make it better, because I think they like this new sound system, and I can see it turning into something. Once we're all used to not having our perception bonus, and once these occlusion zones make a little bit more sense, like I saw a clip from Landmark just yesterday of him in Interchange and the alarm, like, not playing for one of the tech stores. You just have to find the clip. It's something I can't really explain too well, but just know the audio needs work. And then we have increasing the volume of USEC Charlie. That's the new one. I believe that was added in this patch. So we got a list of changes. Fixed certain cases with the inability to hear the sounds of grenades bouncing off obstacles. Glad this is the first one on the list, because this has been one of probably the biggest complaints among most of the community, that you just can't fucking hear grenades. Finally got that fixed. Now, I'm not going to read every single one of these, but I am going to touch on ones that I've seen a lot of complaints and other stuff like that. So right here, fix the incorrect display of gained experience on the post-raid screens. I actually made a video about this, and I just can't believe the amount of people that still, after I talked about it, were saying, I'm not getting any XP in your raids. What was happening is the experience you were gaining was being doubled. So if you earn 10k in your raid, you would see the new XP value, your 10k already applied to your current XP, and then it would give you another 10,000 XP. You go look at your XP once you're back in your stash, and you have minus 10k, but you already got the 10k. But, you know, people just don't use their brains. It's okay. I understand. It's 2024. Here's another big one that was being talked about. Fix the missing clothing. A lot of people were talking about how it was not available in PVE. We got that fixed up, so a lot of people are going to be happy about that. We finally got intelligence skill leveling back up by crafting some stuff in the hideout, so that one's pretty cool. And the last one I'm going to touch on here for the list is this one right here, if I understand it correctly. Fix the examine by default setting for certain ammo packs. I'm assuming that now when you pick up an ammo pack, it's already going to be identified. Could be wrong on that because it does say certain ammo packs. So that could be for, let's just say, any ammunition that is purchasable from a trader, for example. And then anything that is found in raid only, maybe you have to examine that one. That would also line up with, you know, kind of like streamer items, you know, purple items in general, any of the higher rarity loot, all that stuff you have to examine the first time you find it. So maybe it'll be very similar to that, where the majority of ammo boxes now will be examined. That's all we're going to touch on for the list of changes, just for keeping the video under 15 minutes. But do me a huge favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this one, and of course make sure you're subscribing to the channel for more PvE Tarkov content. Like I said at some point in the beginning of the video, I will be asleep when this patch actually does finalize. So come back to the video, drop it in the comments, so when I wake up in bed, I can read your comments about how amazing the mortars are or how absolutely ass the mortars are. Appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.